Okay, here we go.
Hey, Happy, what did you think of King of the Hill's Y2K episode?
Don't really, don't really. I don't really think much of it, to be honest. I mean, it was okay.
Right. I just know, for Fable and I, it triggers us that Hank burned all the shit at the end.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of see burning all the toilet paper,
But the fucking
burning,
clock?
yeah, the clock. Yeah, that was like, why? That's a perfectly good clock, and it was probably expensive.
Hey, rednecks. That's not what toilet paper is for. They're for wipey. So
I did like the dog pound scene. That was really funny.
I like the scene with where Hank is dreaming that him and his kid are like whack-a-moles, and I like the message in it. Yeah, I like the message in it. Like, future could be scary, but it can be bright. I really like that. That may have been I could be wrong, but that may have been an Enter Admiral animation too, actually. I think only one King of the Hill thing was like abysmal for him, which I don't blame.
I could have sworn he had like 2 or 3, but he has since like deleted some of them because one of them was like an episode that was all about the Canadians, and I think that was an atrocity at one point.
It is,
and that's one of the ones where he was like, okay, you know what, I was really dumb with this. I'm taking this down.
Well, I don't blame him for that one. The episode was annoying a little bit. I need to pay attention. I can see why Aaron from Game Grumps like sucks at playing games. It's hard to host this show and fucking play at the same time. God damn. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, well, from what I understand, like most of his complaints were about how like insulting the episode was to Canadian people, and not just how like grating the characters were. I wouldn't know. I haven't actually seen the episode yet, but his position on his position on that atrocity that he made was essentially like the one group of the group of people that the episode is making fun of really don't seem to care about it that much. So why the hell am I so bothered by it being insulting to those people?
And to be fair, I have seen Canadian people who like the episode and are like, yeah, there are Canadians out there who are smug jackasses. Like, yeah, they exist.
Okay, I found a completely unrelated, really interesting comment.
What?
Ooh?
So, someone posted in the cartoon subreddit, the meme with Gru with the book at the end of the movie. Wow, this is amazing. You actually hate this? Talking about, like, cartoons. What cartoon opinion will have you like this? Okay. And some guy commented, let me see if I can find it again. Not Masters... where the hell was it?
Oh shit, this bitch got killed.
Not, okay, this guy, I'm not gonna name him, but not amazing, but I thought High Guardian Spice was pretty good and didn't deserve the hate at all. Although, let's be real, most of the haters didn't even watch it and already decided they hate it because of misogyny before it came out.
Oh my
misogyny.
God.
Wow.
I'm kind of sad that it ended on a cliffhanger, but there most likely won't be a second season, and it's most likely because of the haters.
God, kill yourself.
Yeah, that's what I'm
In
gonna judge you
Minecraft.
on.
Why'd you say Minecraft? Don't censor me.
I said in Minecraft.
Don't censor me. I said what I said. It's my show. I said what I said.
I will.
That just... Oh, that reminds me. Happy. You know the Marvels released this weekend, right?
Oh, no.
I did. Yeah, I posted something about that in the Ether channel.
Did you know that part of the plot rips off Spaceballs?
I did! Yes! I was laughing my hats off when I heard about that. That is absolutely incredible.
According to some comments, some people said that when that one scene rips off Spaceballs, they started saying "suck, suck, suck" in the theater.
Oh, jeez.
I guarantee you we're gonna get the reputation that we're like elitist pricks who think we know good content.
Well, we are.
I don't
Yeah, a
think-
little bit.
Oh, look at
A
that!
hot take. I have a hot take here because I actually don't think elitism is an inherently bad thing.
Really?
I mean, it
Yeah.
kind of depends on. I feel like it might depend on what you're being elitist about, and what
Like, we'll take
what
the general social attitude in terms of like social class, because on the one hand, like I get it, you don't want to be talked down to. On the other hand, whether it's fair or not, they have had access to better education and shit. So like,
That just
probably they're more likely to know what they're talking about, just like in general.
higher education doesn't mean shit though. Sometimes because that just means
Sometimes
you're
yes, sometimes you're right. I'm speaking purely like in general, broad terms.
right.
Obviously, individuals can still be assholes.
Right.
Yeah. You don't necessarily have to like be educated per se to be elitist. Elitist is just just believing yourself to be above the rest.
No, I was just using that social class elitism, for example, like aristocracy, as an example. Whereas with like the cartoon thing, for us, for example, we've spent years now delving into it, picking them apart, and actually like studying storytelling. I'm an aspiring writer. Epic writes fan fiction. I'd assume has some experience with writing from that. So like, yeah, I would think we have maybe not as valid an opinion as like a professional writer or something like that. But I think we have a more valid opinion than necessarily some rando off the street.
Well, I didn't say we are. I just foresee someone.
Oh, I'm sure someone will do that. There's always one. I was just saying in general, like, I wouldn't be too upset if that became a general perception, because I don't think that's a bad thing inherently.
And I think it's important to remember that even some rando on the street can conceively make a good argument
absolutely.
or against. And as long as you're able to remember that, then you're not so like I want to say elitist, but I'm trying to think of another word. But you're not sniffing your own farts at that point. You're
right.
Like, you might
absolutely.
like, you might.
Sorry.
Yeah, you might still be considered elitist, but you're not being a prick. You're not thinking that you're better than pretentious. Yeah, or I was gonna say like better or more knowledgeable. I definitely do. I definitely do know for a fact that there are like plenty of people like in the critiquing circles that are more knowledgeable and more experienced than I am, because there are because even in a lot of my current work, like looking at my relatively recent work, I'm like, okay, yeah, I probably could have phrased this or that better, or made a better argument here, or oh wait a minute, that argument isn't all that good. Yeah. There's it's really more about being I think the question of whether or not it comes to being elitist in the sense of being snobbish really comes down to your attitude with whatever field that you're operating in.
Okay, you're absolutely right. I should clarify that I think of elitism and pretentiousness as two different things. So I would say pretentiousness is a bit up your own ass. I just don't think elitism is necessarily bad. Like, I would absolutely take Happy more seriously on anything regarding law enforcement, for instance.
Right.
Yeah, and even then, I generally consider myself to be a relative layman when it comes to law enforcement. I mean, I do know some stuff, but I'm by no means an expert.
Right, absolutely. If I had like a professor to talk to, I'd probably trust them more, but I don't have that, so in the meantime, I would take you more seriously than, say, Lefty or Epic. Just because you have gone to school for that.
What the fuck?
Right.
That's what I'm saying, and I think with cartoons, yeah, I don't think I'm smarter than someone who's actually worked in the industry, but I do think I'm smarter than just Joe Schmo only watching stuff without really critically engaging with them.
That actually does remind me of when Fable and I first started watching Power Rangers Turbo, because for some reason, out of the blue, Tommy Oliver was a test driver for a local stock car team, which that came completely out of nowhere. He's never expressed interest in it, but there was a scene where he was like testing a new engine, and it he kept over revving it till it blew up, and I pointed out to Fables like, there's no way that should have happened. All race car engines have a built-in kill switch to prevent that from happening if you're over revving it. So it's because of I have that knowledge of being a racing fan for over 20 years at this point to know that.
Right. Exactly. That's another thing.
You reminded me. I was gonna make that point. Like I said, I was gonna say like after the the special that we did, that we riffed earlier. So yeah, like Turbo has the same issue. The Power Ranger thing, not the snail thing for the audience. It has the same issue as like Make Your Mark. Like there's so much shit that happened off screen, and we're supposed to accept it. That's like how fucking Turbo starts, and it's like irritating. I just don't get it.
That's not how storytelling works. You can really only pull that trick so many times.
So like for example, in the original show Mighty Morphin, Bulk and Skull were like the bullies who were like comic relief. The show does have character development, more so for these guys. Like they ease up on the bullying to the point where they stopped, and they even themselves wanted to be cops. They stuck with it. It wasn't just in one episode sitcom-y gag. And they got their boss in trouble, and they actually quit because they wanted to side with him. So him and the actual cop that got fired became detectives. And then throughout the season of Zeo, they were doing, detective shit or whatever. Not like Zip, like it's just like some errand crap. But anyway, So there was like a thing where for whatever reason they got recruited to join like some French police undercover bullshit. I don't know why. And they're like he's like, it was an honor working with you, sir. God damn it. It was an honor working with you, sir, and yada yada. But then Turbo starts and they're cops again. All three of them.
Huh. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that, that's a little weird. That's a good example.
The command center was built.
And if it was just the once, it wouldn't be a big deal. But when you do that kind of thing over and over again, then it's really problematic. It's like, do you even want to tell your story at that point if it's all off screen?
I guess the Tommy thing is because they're really trying to make it like car theme, because every season, regardless if it's connected or not, has a different motif. That's how it ran so long. Same thing for Japan. And fuck, in Japan, Super Sentai is on its 48th season. Or about to go.
That is some Simpsons Family Guy crap.
Not really, because every season is a different story with different characters. With different...
Okay, fair enough, but it's still a really long runtime.
But anyway, the point is, like, they also had an issue with tonal shift because, I have to go to another place. So, like, the Sentai is the car one for Turbo was a very goofy. I need to pay attention. So, like, the Sentai was a very parody season, like very comic, like kind of thing. And however, Power Rangers was continuing its ongoing narrative with the shit they're adapting. So you would think it might be more serious with the stakes raised, but they didn't. So the writing room apparently got into a fight of whether they want to be funny like the Sentai was, or continue the momentum of slightly seriousness from what Zeo did. So they did both, or tried to, so it clashed very badly. You have these villains that are just retarded. You have Tommy doing what Lefty said. What I said about Bulk and Skull. One of the characters gets replaced by an actual child. By the way. Okay, Akihabara.
I remember NC's review of the Turbo movie, and he was like making fun of that. Or
Turbo movie's actually okay. The show itself is shit. That's my issue with it. And they actually, thank you for reminding me. There's a thing that the Turbo movie could have easily addressed, but they didn't. They never did lose their Zeo powers. And for some reason, they just go to... Nope.
They never actually lost them?
So the movie, it kind of makes sense. Like they show the car powers as like some expedition-like thing. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is made for your mission. I can buy that, I guess. But they never went back to the old powers or say, hey, something happened to the Zeo powers. Because they've established what happened to the dinosaur powers, the ninja powers, the Zeo crystal shit. Well, not Zeo Crystal, sorry, the other thing. But they never once lost the Zeo powers, and it was never brought up again.
Huh.
It's terrible.
Can I point out a couple things about your game now?
Go ahead.
So number one, I like how the thigh highs have stripes, and then they continue into the miniskirt in inverted colors. I like that detail.
Yeah, it's cool. The bad thing about... Go ahead. Sorry.
Another thing I want to speculate on is if the internet was actually like this VR space where you interacted with people face to face, I wonder if mental health would still be as bad as it is these days.
I think they kind of... Oh.
Because I feel like it wouldn't be, because you're actually more interacting with people directly now. Or in this scenario.
Actually, I think I would think that interactions like interacting face to face would still be like rather uncommon, because like a big thing with people opening up on the internet is there is a degree of anonymity to it, and so there's less of the face to face interaction with people when people who have like trouble opening up and actually like engaging with people directly. They're like the internet like gives them a sort of layer of protection, for want of a better word. And if you remove that, I feel like social interaction would actually go down in a world like this if direct face-to-face interaction was still required.
I would have to disagree, because if you remember, in this, you can't have I can't say the word. You can't be anonymous with it, because the avatar is you. You can't make a custom one. It is.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I'm saying that the fact that it has to be you would mean that they would be less likely to engage with one another with people over the internet, specifically because they would lose that anonymity.
You are right. Shy people would probably still be shyer, but I think like the general rise in things like anxiety and depression you see, especially in youth, maybe wouldn't occur either.
Oh yeah, probably.
That's what I'm saying. I think it would look a lot more like real-world social interaction does. And maybe people would still, like, talk to strangers and shit. I think that's an interesting scenario to speculate upon.
So for quick context, the case we're working on, anyone who criticized a certain comic book or manga artist's work, they've suddenly disappeared in real life. And we just got clarification that the girl that gave us intel, she's kidnapped, and she's not responding to us. Don't look at the avatar. They're lazy about it. Don't look at that. So we're finding the kidnappers. But anyway, go on.
No, I was pretty much done at that point.
Yeah, I think we were done.
She's alive. That's a guy. Yeah,
it's clearly a guy.
Can I ask why this digital space is falling apart? And like,
so in the session that you didn't join in, see that purple thing? That's Ara's partner evolved. Anyway, I was telling them that. So the thing is, it happened randomly at a Shibuya train station where it turned into this. And when you go inside, sure enough, digital entities such as these Digimon or something else can thrive in, which shouldn't even be possible.
Right. You're in the real world right now, but it's like digitally corrupted. It's like melded with cyberspace. Okay, that's a really interesting concept.
Akemi Soedo, the one they talked about, we met him at the train station saying that he feels like there's like a certain corruption going on. And I'm just going to say this because it'd be easier if I say this little spoiler. It's the fabric of reality kind of falling apart a little bit.
I mean, obviously, but
the thing with Digimon is it's not simply, it's a game thing or an internet thing. It is its own fabric of reality. That
it's like cyberspace is another physical dimension.
Pretty much, Digimon survived that game or the original anime. Like the creators said, like their version of the lore is they've always been there, but thanks to the advancement of the internet and stuff, we're able to comprehend their physical form. That's why, for example, we have a dragon or a fucking cartoon bunny with pants. Because just like how information on the internet is so varied, so is the creatures. Like there's literally a Looney Tune dog that's a Digimon too. Or a fucking maid that wields pistols. Or a simple dragon, or a simple bird like we have. So yeah, that's why it's so varied. Yeah. Or biblical stuff. There literally is Digimon Lucifer and Satan in this game.
Are they two separate guys, or?
They're two separate guys. In Japan, they treat them as different.
I know. That's why I asked, because I hang out in a theology server, and apparently the historical theory is they were separate figures initially, historically, that then got merged over time.
Right.
As is prone to happen with some pantheons. So I
Like-
just thought it was interesting that they did that. Because that's like, oh, hey, here's an obscure, like, occult and religious history reference. Or theological history.
So, like, for example, like, in, like, season 4 of, like, the anime, the main antagonist was called Lucemon. And when you see him, I guess I didn't... It's obvious when you look at the silhouette now that it's an angel, but I guess I couldn't tell because, you know, the TV I had at the time. But it's like a child angel, and it's so not what you expect, despite how he talks. But then when he evolves by killing his henchmen, he has like a half demon, half angel thing going on. But then when he dies the first time, so they don't die, they turn into eggs and they hatch again. I think it's a reference to the Tamagotchi thing they come from. The egg becomes black, grows larger, and becomes a dragon that's holding a sphere with a larva inside it. And it's supposed to be a reference to the dragon from the Bible.
Okay.
It's
That's
legit called
interesting.
Lucemon Satan mode in Japan.
Oh, wow.